you turn, the Democrats and their fawning media enablers are elevating the concerns of non-Americans over actual Americans. Now, last night, as I said, I interviewed the parents of 15-year-old Nissa Mickens, who was murdered by illegal alien MS-13 gang members. They were President Trump's guests at Tuesday's State of the Union. I asked them what they thought about the Democrats' failure to stand when they were recognized.
I felt it was very disrespectful. For the simple fact, the Democrats who was there who did not stand up, they were African Americans. They did not have the respect or to honor what just happened to our lives and to America's lives. Regardless of how they feel about the president, they should show the respect, because I would show them the respect if that was their loved one.
So classy and so moving. President Trump was right to address the brutality of these Salvadoran gangs victimizing law-abiding, innocent Americans. And he also highlighted the otherwise forgotten victims among them. Of course, all liberal media types could do in response to all this was just dismiss it as just, oh, come on, MS-13, that threat's kind of overblown. It's political hype. Nissa's mom reacted to that sentiment with incredulity.
I have no words. I mean, these are gang members that just, decided to be a judge and a jury to take my daughter out like that. It's unacceptable. I don't want it to happen to anybody else's family.
It was so heartbreaking. Yet, for most Democrats, these victims and their families, they're almost invisible. The anguish of those families is really inconvenient to the storyline that a lot of people on the left like to tell. That illegal immigrants are all good and they're all deserving of amnesty, benefits, care, compassion, etc. Liberals' empathy, though, only seems to go one way.
The awful, awful, awful pictures of dreamers being deported, I think, will rally the nation.
For me, the first step begins by finally addressing the needs of dreamers. It's a priority that too long has been pushed to the back burner.
We heard more insulting words of ignorance and prejudice toward patriotic immigrant families last night.
Yeah, because those American families, they're not patriotic at all, Nancy. Oh, and by the way, raise your hand if you're weary of the endless immigration sob stories trotted out by media coast to coast.
A crowd of rabbis, priests, pastors, and immigration organizations sing and pray for Luis Blanco. On the outside, you wouldn't know this may be the last time he'll see his family on American soil.
Honestly, I didn't sleep well. It's a very difficult day. It's a day where a big decision will be made, and I'm not sure how it's going to end.
Blanco has called Plant City home for 2 decades. Back in 1998, he was deported, and the next year he came back illegally to find work. Blanco has 6 American-born children and a 7th on the way.
So you heard that. First of all, Blanco, who's here 20 years, does not speak English, was deported once, only to come back again illegally, and his 30-year-old wife is a DACA recipient, by the way. Now, contrary to what Democrats have tried to do, to brainwash generations of African Americans to believe that Republicans are racist, terrible, heartless people. They've done the same with Hispanics as well. Think about this. It's only Donald Trump who had the guts to point out that an unenforced border hits Black, Hispanic, and working poor generally disproportionately hard, lowering wages, shutting a lot of people out of entire job sectors, and, of course, the crime. So, playing the crass game of identity politics, what Democrats do is they create their own classes of imaginary victims. So illegal immigrants' anxiety about deportation, as you just saw in that piece, is covered endlessly and with maximum emotion. Lots of sympathetic nods from reporters. And politicians stand and applaud for so-called dreamers demanding rights. And if you disagree, and you believe in immigration measures that are designed to benefit the American people, well, you're smeared.
Values. You have very hostile anti-immigrant voices in the House. Last week, President Trump and DHS Secretary Nielsen made another shameful anti-immigrant decision by ending temporary protected status for 31,000 Salvadoran.
We have a Republican president, a Republican Senate, a Republican House. All three are the most anti-immigration that there is.
Now, that's completely absurd, Chuck, and I'm going to throw it right back in his face. I'll ask him this. Are Democrats anti-children when they fail to stand up for victims, such as the 7-year-old Indiana girl who was repeatedly raped this month by a 24-year-old illegal alien? And by the way, if we have the picture of him, there he is. And was this animal a dreamer? That's my question. Well, no, most illegal immigrants don't commit serious violent crimes. We all know that. But they do comprise 22% of our federal prison population. That is a fact. And by the way, a new study of Arizona residents by economist John Lott finds that illegal immigrants are 142% more likely to be convicted of a crime than other Arizonans. Wow, that is obscene. Now, today, we have a thing called a catch and release policy. It's completely nuts, under which ICE agents must release unaccompanied and accompanied alien children back into the country. So they're caught at the border, and then they're processed quickly and released back into the United States. Health and Human Services then resettles these kids in communities and in states like yours. We've released 100,000 of these unaccompanied minors into the United States just since fiscal year 2016. It's unbelievable. And a recent HHS study showed that the majority of unaccompanied illegal alien minors are 15 to 17 years old, and they're males. In other words, as that Northern Virginia Gang Task Force fellow a couple weeks ago on this show said, they are prime recruitment targets for MS-13. President Trump, to his credit and to our benefit, wants to end this scourge.
Many of these gang members took advantage of glaring loopholes in our laws to enter the country as illegal, unaccompanied alien minors and wound up in Kayla and Niece's high school. Tonight, I am calling on Congress to finally close the deadly loopholes that have allowed MS-13 and other criminal gangs to break into our country.
I was thinking about this. To the Congressional Black Caucus and all those Democrats who sat fuming rather than standing in support of grieving American families Tuesday night, I say shame on you. You've gone so far left that you've left America. And that's the angle.